Hello everyone, welcome to Weeb the People, a podcast dedicated to all things anime, from the perspectives of an advanced viewer, casual, and beginner. I am your host, Daniel.
We only got 5 more episodes for me to curse, so fuck titties. Sorry, don't know where the titties came from. My name's Malcolm.
Titties!
I'm just as confused as you all are, listeners. My name's Jake. What are we talking about, guys?
We're about to hit episode 100.
Are we going clean on episode 100?
100.
I am. I'm going to give some listeners some dichotomy. If they want the raunchy shit, you got to come to the early episodes. If you want the clean professional stuff.
Okay.
Gotcha. We have our after hours episodes also, so.
Oh, that's
gotcha.
True,
Yeah. We're going to have our Nick at Night special.
Yeah.
With Linda Ellerby.
Our Adult Swim where we just reruns of fucking. Oh my god, I'm too tired.
Rick and Morty.
Gotta say, Daniel's just on the cusp of falling asleep during this whole podcast. So.
Yeah, if you're watching the video version of this recording, you can see Daniel's brain just stop. The cogs just.
It's rough. I'm on a stretch of work that's
he's on the pinwheel
quite a while, so my body's breaking down slowly but surely.
It's okay. We all remember Avatar being on Adult Swim too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, enough of me falling asleep on the podcast, so let's get to it. In this week's episode, we'll be reviewing and discussing Goblin Slayer Goblin's Crown, which is the Goblin Slayer movie. If you have not watched it, then spoilers ahead. If Goblin Slayer is not to your liking, our next discussion will be next week, with our next show watch in 2 weeks. If you guys have any suggestions on what you all would want to see, please feel free to DM us on any of our social medias or email us. And with that, let's dive into the discussion. Or actually the background, sorry. Goblin Slayer Goblin's Crown is the movie sequel to the original series Goblin Slayer, and unlike most anime movies, Goblin's Crown is considered canon to the series, so that's cool to look forward to. It's directed by Takaharu Ozaki and animated by Studio White Fox. And this is the synopsis straight from Crunchyroll, because when I was trying to summarize it, I was like, I don't know. So here we go. Let's see.
I don't know if you guys heard that. There's a sick rev. I mean, this guy is so cool. He just peeled out right next to my house. And honestly, I just have the best respect for that person.
I live in like Washington, over 2,000 miles away, and I feel emasculated.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I got half mast, and I'm like kind of a little turned on, like a little aroused, and also scared. I don't know. It's a weird feeling.
Hey guys, a motorcycle gang just pulled up to my apartment.
But the one thing that we need to acknowledge is that was really fucking cool. It was great sound, and it's good for the audio, and like it's just fucking cool.
It's like that South Park episode with the motorcyclist.
I will let you continue, Daniel. Sorry about that.
Synopsis. Quote unquote. Please find any information on the noble fencer that disappeared after leaving to slay some goblins. End quote. Goblin Slayer is party head up to the snowy mountains in the north after receiving that request from the Sword Maiden. A small village gets attacked. They encounter a mysterious chapel, and something about how these goblins are acting bothers Goblin Slayer. It's basically more of the same thing. It's Goblin Slayer going and killing goblins. Cool. What's up?
The movie's called Goblin's Crown. I just now realized there is no crown in this movie.
Wait, does the paladin not wear a crown?
No.
Does he not wear a crown?
I'm pretty sure he wears a helmet. Hold on.
Yeah, so
helmet is that's a kind of crown, isn't it?
Something like that. So let me start off with this. Already got me on the wrong foot when I started it. Thankfully, when I was doing the research for this, I already knew this was going to happen, so I didn't have to bother wasting my time. Yep. But why in the world would you waste 25 minutes of your movie just to do an entire recap of season 1? In my opinion, like if someone's gonna watch this movie, they've already watched season 1. You just assume that they've already watched it. There's not gonna be many people that are gonna watch this out of order of that sequence, right?
Yep.
So it's like, why even bother? If you wanted to do it, maybe like do a little opening, maybe a minute and a half, 5-minute opening at that, and with quick flashbacks, as they're like maybe monologuing or something.
Yeah, a skippable like recap.
Exactly. So like nothing too big, nothing, because oh my god, 25 minutes and you only have an hour and 25. Now you're down to just an hour, and that's not even including the ending credits time, which is like 10 minutes. So
yeah.
So already right there, that was I don't like that. yeah, so thankfully I knew about that, so then I immediately just skipped over to the 25 minutes, and then at like minute 25, 26, that's when the movie actually starts. So for the first fourth...
I read the comments in Verve. Like, you can click on the videos before you watch them, and you can read all the comment threads, and everyone was, like, really excited, like, 2 days ago, and they're like, yeah, like, this is great. And then, like, you scroll a little further, and they're like, don't waste your time. Literally skip to minute 24 if you've already seen season 1. I was like, cool. And I was like, I just wanted to make sure. So I watched a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'd definitely seen these. And I kind of, like, buffered through, and then I was like, okay, I've clearly seen all of this. Why? 25 minutes. Like, that's insane. That's just about as bad as Girls in Panzer, where they had the recap episode, like, 6 episodes in.
Dude, that was
and you're
rough.
like, there's no reason for this. There's absolutely no reason. Especially if you're making a movie. It's not like you got a production schedule and you're like, oh, shit, I got to come up with something really quick. It's like, it's the movie that you planned. You literally wasted a third of your movie on a recap.
Yep.
I agree with you, Daniel. I'm very heated about this.
Yeah, so that already got me on the wrong foot. So then I was like, all right, well, let me try to put that at the back of my mind and then actually get into this. So then now we go on to the second, fourth. I decided to split this up into fourths of the movie.
Yeah, you said fourths, and I was like, I just saw a movie.
Yeah.
Maybe I watched the wrong thing.
It's easier for show notes wise. Like,
yeah. That's fair.
I'm not gonna put a big block of text and be like, "Fuck, where's everything at?"
Yeah. Fourth was just recap. We can skip all that shit. If you haven't listened to our reviews, go watch season 1 review.
Or just watch the first 25 minutes, because what's the point of watching 12 episodes when you can just do it in the span of one?
Apparently. So yeah, moving on. Once again, we talked about this last week in the CGI episode, in the Studio White Fox episode, but a main reason why I wanted to talk about it then was because it comes up, it's very egregious when it comes up here in Goblin Slayer. They're fighting in 2D. It's really good animation. And then all of a sudden, when the fencer does her electrical attack and the goblins like float around and stuff like that, it's done in weird CGI, and the goblins are like little plastic models just like floating in midair.
T-posing around.
Yeah, so
that very specific moment pulled me out too.
I'm like, my God.
The 2D was great, but yeah, then when they switched to that CGI, you're just like, oh, this is not right.
And I don't know why. Like in a movie setting, it's completely different. It's like you're not limited by the obviously there's still a production schedule, if you will, but it's not as egregious or as harsh as an anime schedule, where it's like literally there's been cases of anime studios literally the dude's like riding his fucking bicycle delivering the final footage 3 hours before the anime episode's supposed to air. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And the movie's not in 3D,
a South Park production schedule.
It's not like the goblins are coming at you and you're like, whoa, it's like they're right up in my face, dude. It's like
immersion, brother.
I'm still watching this on my CRT TV, so I mean,
it's like the 4D theater, and you're like, I can feel the spit hit my face. It got a little mist. Do you guys ever rode those at the theme parks and stuff?
Yeah, dude, I used to work at SeaWorld.
Oh, nice. Wait, you actually worked at SeaWorld?
Yeah, twice. Two summers.
You worked at SeaWorld? You didn't know this?
I could not know this. From my house to SeaWorld. That's
San Antonio?
I mentions this all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
okay.
2-0 Go Spurs Go. There's my shout out.
Oh my God.
Countdown City. Anyway. Well, my San Antonio fans are going to love that.
Did you know about Shamu?
Huh? No. I made sandwiches. Oh. I let people in the gates and I made sandwiches. I had nothing to do with animals. I had to ride past them when I took the shuttle from the employee entrance all the way, which was like a 15-minute drive to where I had to go, but I did not touch any animals. Knew nothing about the animals.
Okay.
Just made Sammys.
Well,
made Sammys and sold alcohol.
That's a good excuse, Malcolm. I like that.
They also specifically told us if anyone says the word blackfish, go find a supervisor and don't say a word. So I'm just going to put that out there into the ether.
I was going to mention it. I was like, yeah, what do you think about blackfish? And it's like, oh, yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We don't talk about it.
What?
And we don't talk about it.
Nope. Also, come get me, SeaWorld. It's been like 8 years. See what happens.
They just hit you with all the NDAs that you signed.
Yeah, it's just like, no.
This may be my last episode. Oops.
What are we talking about again? We're talking about Goblin Slayer, right? So, let's see.
Time to track that goblin's ass, boy.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
That is literally our show notes right there. It's a time to track that goblin's ass, boy. All right, Daniel, take us away. Where can we go with this phrase?
Yeah, man. So that's when he tossed the ghetto arrow to the high off archer and she shot it, whatever. And then it was all jank and whatever. And I thought that was like, oh, we're going to follow the trail of blood and cool.
Right,
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought. And he's like, nah, bro, that's like beginner stuff. So for him,
we'll wait till they all die.
Yeah, well, actually, it's actually poisoned. And then once he's poisoned and he's like throwing up everywhere, he's going to infect everybody else. And then they'll all die.
And that's not how poison works, but
yeah,
I really enjoy it. It's not like, unless it was an infectious, like,
airborne.
Because that's the difference. He like put disease on the arrow versus I put a poison that will kill just you.
And maybe he did mention or disease, but I think I read it as poison.
No,
like,
it was
poison.
read as poison.
Hey, Goblin Slayer, what's in that arrow? Polio.
Oh, it feels bad.
Just get a bunch of FDR goblins just rolling around.
Right.
Let's see. I liked how they talked about a little bit of the lore, like the world building for the gods and stuff, like the deities and whatever. I guess it was the god of wisdom that they talked about in the Green Moon or whatever. I wish they went more in depth with that. I wish they brought it up more. And another thing that I wish they brought up multiple times in season 1 was the whole rolling of the dice thing.
Yeah,
I don't think that was ever mentioned in the movie, and that's kind of something I was looking forward to.
It was in the subtext of the movie's title. It was like Goblin Slayer, Goblin's Crown. He does not let anyone roll the dice.
The dice, yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's going to happen again. And no.
Nothing.
So it feels bad. Another scene that I did like was the whole flashback scene with the fencer and her group. How they got to the mountain, how they started the quest off, and their original plan, we're going to camp out here, make sure, they're going to starve for food, and then once they starve for food, then we can get them, blah, blah, blah. And I think that was really cool build-up of how, okay, that's the original plan, everybody's, getting along, whatever, everybody's doing their part, but then as the days go on, as their food supply runs out, everybody starts, getting at each other's throats and stuff, and I think that was a really good scene. I wish they explained how the goblins, thought of that, right? Or, I knew that they were trying to starve them out, or, what they were doing in the background. Because all we know is that once the fencer went back to the village to secure some sort of food supply, and when she got back, everybody was already dead.
Yeah.
So the goblins obviously knew what was happening, but I wish they maybe had a scene of maybe a goblin scout looking at them and then reporting back, or I don't know.
Exactly, because the goblins, they thought that the goblins were dumb, and they've fought goblins before, so they're like, oh, this strategy is going to work. I wanted to see how did the goblins work around their strategies and actually surprise them, because that is exactly it. Their plan should have worked and been okay, even if they were low on supplies. But obviously the goblins have learned things, and it would have been cool to see what they did to overpower the group.
They're like, you come into my house and try to starve me? I'm gonna starve you. You're in my house.
It's like the I'm gonna screw this up, but there's an ancient battle that Rome fought with Gaul, and they literally surrounded the city to starve them out, and then they then got surrounded by other Gaulish forces. So I think it was Caesar built a wall on both sides of his encampment, so he had this thin double wall that all of his people were in, and that was his defense. But it was just one of those, oh, we're gonna starve you out, and then they're like, psych, we're gonna starve you out.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Not for me.
The goblins went to a library, got a history book, and they were like, well, let's turn to Greek. Oh, y'all like Caesar? Let's try this shit.
You want to try that shit? Let's do it. So yeah, I think that was really cool. I think I love that whole build-up sequence with the whole party and how it just fell apart completely. I think that was really well done. Something that I don't know, I guess I'm conflicted about. You know how in season 1 when they were talking about how the goblins basically rape their prisoners or whatever and treat them harshly or whatever, and basically break their minds? That didn't happen with the fencer, really. The only thing that really happened was just that more serious thing. So I don't know, like, I think it was a decent character development, but I feel like it would have been more consistent, I guess. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
No, you lost me when you said it didn't happen to the fencer, because I'm pretty sure they showed scenes where she got...
No, and it did. That's why I'm saying. It's like this I guess I'm conflicted with the consistency of it, the story consistency of it. So, like, would it have been better if she completely broke? Or do y'all think... Like, how do y'all like it, how she progressed her character development is what I'm asking.
I definitely think that this was, like, a revenge story for her. Not only for herself, but, like, also there was more of the guilt that she was, like, leading a group of people, and her strategy is what got them killed. Mm-hmm. So I think that there were like two things. There was, like, personal revenge for what they did to her, and then a revenge for, like, group, and it was almost like an atonement for getting her friends killed.
Okay.
So I think there were two threads, and one was like maybe more personal, one was like more duty driven for her friends. I didn't dislike her character. The thing that I liked is that she wasn't a write-off character like you had in those scenes at the beginning of the first Goblin Slayer season, where the characters who get attacked are, like, either don't make it or they are shipped off to, like, some, like, convent, and they're gone. They're just, like, you never see them again. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, why did you even need to show that? Like, it breaks down the story. I think that she has some, like, very valid motivations. She wasn't a helpless member of the party, and that's why I think that this was done better than the first season's depiction of the attacks, because she is leading her party. Everyone wanted to leave, and she's like, no, we're going to stay. We're going to do this. And then she's like, I'm going to go get supplies. I'll be back. And she's the reason they died, because, like, they could have just left and been okay. I liked it a lot more because, like, I think there were legitimate reasons for her to go back, and I think there were legitimate reasons for her to, like, get revenge. Not just one point, but many.
Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense when you explain it like that, because, I think I was just like, I feel like this is inconsistent, but that makes... So it's basically, like, her emotions for revenge were greater than her emotions, like, of fear. So it's like that, like, helped motivate her to actually, like, be a still useful member of the party and stuff. Okay, yep. I like that. And then we get the classic cutting off the hair to symbolize growth. That's a classic anime trope. Always happens.
Yeah. I thought that was a callback to when they choked the Goblin Commander with the hair.
Yeah, like, I thought that
they
too.
Were gonna choke him out, but never mind.
Nope.
Yeah, that was... I mean, it was oddly specific because he was like, assassins use human hair. It's strong and doesn't break easy. And they never used her hair again. I thought that's what they were going to do. Mm-hmm. I thought that's how they were going to kill the Goblin King. So,
who doesn't wear a crown, wears a helmet. A triple check.
You know, it's funny. I know that they animate her eyes different than the other main character, the healer. Like blue versus, like, I think they're like a yellowish tinge.
Like a gold, amber tint.
Gold, yeah. But I thought the reason they cut off her hair was so that when they're far away, they can actually distinguish who is who. Because their hair was, like, very similar before she cut it. And I was like, nice. Easy for the animators to start distinguishing.
That could be fair, too. It could just be like
honestly,
crap. Yeah. Once you start drawing, you're like, shit, they look the same. Let's go back, cut off her hair. All right, we're good.
But I gotta say, there are two themes or threads that make this almost like Mulan. She cuts her hair off. She's going to restore her honor, and there's a big fight in the avalanching snow.
That's very true.
Let's get down to business. And that's all we got before we get slapped with a
DCMA.
Cease and desist.
Okay.
Let's see. What else? Yeah, I think still my biggest gripes of the movie is just weird usage of CGI. I think it's just it comes out of, like, left field. It's really random because they all have everybody when they're running through the ramparts, for example, and it's like the three of them running and they're fighting. I think the fight scenes are really well done, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's animate Goblin Slayer and only Goblin Slayer to be in CGI, killing CGI goblins, but the goblins that the others attack are all in two. It was weird. So I think that's still my biggest gripe with this. It really takes me out when it's not consistent.
Yep.
And I think if they decided to like really commit to it, and you're like, you know what, this entire sequence, this whole fight scene is gonna be in 3D. You know what, commit to it, do it, but not when it's just, in my opinion, half-assed like that.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to talk about with the animation. I don't know if you guys experienced this, but I watched this on my phone, and I turned the brightness like all the way up, and like I legit was having hard time seeing what was going on in the animation. I don't know if it was because like part of it I was outside and like I had to let the light adjust, but like I legitimately could not see some of the darker scenes where they were walking around. And I get that they are trying to make it like you're in a cave, like you can't see shit that's past this torch. But like even when it was low light settings outside, like maybe there's just the moon out, I was having a real hard time seeing it. Did you guys experience that?
The only one that I couldn't really see was the cave one that you mentioned, and then like they went through the different corridor. But other than that, I mean, because I watched it on my computer,
Okay.
and I thought it was fine.
Okay.
I didn't really have too much of an issue, but it was just the cave part. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just like, oh, okay. I guess they found like a random corridor. Okay, badass. So that's what they're doing. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even in the castle, I was having a hard time seeing a lot of the action. So maybe it was just the lighting on my phone. But so I won't blame the animation on that. I just want to see.
Hey Jake, what kind of phone do you have so I know not what to buy?
Okay, yeah, it's an essential phone, and that's the only free plug that they're gonna get, and you can't buy it anymore, so it's fine.
Fuck.
Oh, Nokia. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Nokia. It's my Nokia brick from the early 2000s. That thing could pierce through a tank and be okay.
Wow, they really went with the 8-bit animation for the movie. Bold.
Cool.
Yeah,
Bold.
it was, and I had to pick on memory. It was either that or install Snake on my phone.
The sacrifices we make for this podcast, immeasurable.
Honestly. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, this movie's not too deep. You watch it for fun and just, oh, okay, it was Goblin Slayer doing more what Goblin Slayer does, kills things. So I don't really have much more to say on the movie. Before we go to our conclusion, do you all have anything you all want to mention, clarify?
Yeah, I just wanted clarification. Did they ever find out why the goblins were more intelligent? It just seemed like, oh, there's just more intelligent. Like the leader is there, and there's like maybe a priest, so that's why they're more intelligent. I don't know.
I think that was what they were like pointing towards.
Okay.
And they were pointing towards like they were evolving too. Because then they were going to use that entire fortress as like a refinery and stuff, which was unheard of for goblins to do. But I think it was mostly just because of the paladin there.
Goblins have reached the industrial age.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Yo, time for
what was the
Weeb
branding?
People Civ stream.
That'll be just you two. You can...
Oh God. Oh God. The goblins found uranium, guys. Oh God.
Before Goblin Slayer finds nukes.
Yeah.
Discovers nukes.
What was the branding on her neck? Was that an actual curse that like gave the goblins more power? Because it seemed to like Frodo affect her with like the ring when they were chanting in the groups.
Yeah, I think
like
it was a symbol of the god of wisdom, and like as they were chanting and stuff, maybe like they didn't really explain it too well, which was unfortunate because I feel like that could have been more
some cool lore
there. Yeah, but that's what I got from it too, was that it was like a curse from the god of wisdom, and maybe there was like some sort of ritual interaction with her that she was supposed to be a sacrifice or whatever. But
yeah, to give them more wisdom.
Yeah.
Oof. Might have also been like a symbolism thing to like help her remember her trauma, which is a shitty thing to do, but also like not a good plot device to force that into the movie.
Yeah.
Either way, it could have been used a lot better. And I did want to mention my favorite scene in the movie, where they were watching the coronation, and then they're like, oh, it's time to make the paladin the king. And they're just like, and Goblin Slayer's like, yo, we fucked up. Hey, guys, we fucked up. We gotta go. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
The priest is dead. Plays the Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
Yeah. I forgot about that, but the goblins are like,
wait, where is
he? Hey, get the intern in here.
Hey, Dennis, where the fuck is Carl?
Oh, he's on his lunch break.
Hey, I just found Carl. His head is gone.
Emergency meeting. Among Us starts playing.
Among Us?
There's our
We the People Among Us stream as well. Look forward to that.
Soon. The other favorite part was like after the avalanche when Goblin Slayer got stuck underneath the snow, the noble's daughter was like, "Aren't you guys worried about him?" And everyone's like, "He's got plot armor, so I'm like, not really."
He's Goblin Slayer. No, I'm not.
Hey, I already signed my contract for season 2, so like I think he's good. He's gonna live.
Yeah, I was looking at his contracts. He's good till like season 5, so he's fine.
Like for sure.
I'm not worried about it.
You, on the other hand,
we might just not ever see you again. So
wait, y'all got contracts? Yeah. Oh, honey, take a seat. Honey. Let's take a seat.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right, cool. Yeah, so with that, conclusion. So what did you like, dislike, rewatch, recommend to another person, and final score? So I had higher hopes for this movie. I thought it was going to be much more well done. I thought with the movie setting, the animation problems that we had in season 1 would be fixed. Unfortunately, that was not the case. So I don't know if it was like I said before in last week's episode, I don't know if this is like an animation problem, if this is a funding problem, if this was a creative decision. If it was the final, I don't agree with the decision. But you know what? I didn't make the movie, so that's that. The story was fine. I think it was a simple movie that you watch for fan service, and it's like, hey, you get more Goblin Slayer in the universe, cool, badass, you get to watch him kill more stuff, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. The new character that they added, the Fencer, I think was a good addition. I liked her personality. I liked how she actually did stuff for the group. She was actually pretty broken in terms of power with her lightning stuff, so I think it was a good addition that were, instead of like, because I feel like for most other party members for guest party members that get added, they're kind of just useless and just hanging out. But for her, she was actually like influential in the group. Nothing much for the OST in this one. It's just a rehash of season 1's. I liked how they talked about more lore stuff with the gods of wisdom, but I wish they went even more in depth, especially with the whole dice thing, because I feel like that was very heavily mentioned in season 1. So I wish they had talked more about that. And I think a big gripe I had with this movie was that it was very inconsistent with what we had known and what we have seen and what had been mentioned in season 1. Like you said, with like the hair being mentioned, I think the way characters acted and were portrayed and stuff, and a lot of it was just inconsistent. Oh man, the animation. I think the animation was definitely the biggest gripe I had with this movie. It just really pulled me out sometimes with the CGI, and maybe it's because I just noticed it because I've watched a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? The movie was okay, but I'm not gonna rewatch it again for sure. That's just, I watched it, boom, done. So would I recommend the movie to another person? Honestly, no. I didn't like that movie at all. After I originally was gonna give it a 6 out of 10, but after talking about it more, I'm definitely dropping that to a 5 out of 10. So that's what I'm gonna give it.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we're all, well, we'll see what Malcolm says. He's gonna be like, this was the magnum opus for Goblin Slayer.
Sorry,
this
guys.
is it, the crowning achievement. If I don't see this at the Oscars, I will flip shit.
I would get up and defend myself, but my pockets are way too heavy with all the money Crunchyroll gave me, so I'm gonna have to sit this one out.
So make sure, guys, that you watch Goblin Slayer.
Make sure to smash that like button and retweet thick. Goblin Slayer, best movie. Goblin Slayer for Oscar? Yeah, so I agree with you, Daniel. I think that overall, the main issues I had with this movie, the animation was inconsistent, like you said. The biggest problem for me was that a third of this movie is just recap. There's nothing else learned. Yeah. And what frustrates me is that they introduced a new character, the fencing girl, and I think if they had used that first 25 minutes to show her foolhardiness and just overconfidence in her group and like I guess underestimation of the goblins, that twist and fall would have been a little bit more dramatic, and then giving a little bit more time for her to rebuild her character, growing into this new party in this new role, I think would be way cooler. I also saw some criticism that the Paladin fight was way too short, and I agree. We didn't really know what the goblins were up to. I wish there was some not B-roll, but flashes to the goblin camps, and we don't need to know the language we just need to see like what are they doing. Like they're obviously getting intelligence, so I'd like to see a little bit more building of like what their plan was, or yeah, I don't know, just motivations. Use that 25 minutes to develop her character more, so that that transition in fall feels a little bit more natural. I just felt like I knew them for like 5 minutes and then this happened. Yeah. And I got to say, you can do that quickly. Up is a great example of how you can gut punch someone in like 2 minutes. But like it's more effective if you take a little bit longer. And I think they failed to do that. I think a great like crossover for anyone who's a big like sci-fi fan, Battlestar Galactica did this really well with the character Kendra Shaw and the movie Razor. So it was a standalone movie that fit within the canon of the story. And they insert this brand new character. You learn her backstory. You see her like redemption arc, and like other characters that you're familiar with and already know are there, but they are not the highlight of the movie. She is the highlight of the movie. And I think they did that movie really well because you get the familiarity with characters. So the group in Goblin Slayer, that was kind of the backbone, but you really explored a brand new character, and I feel like they wasted that opportunity here. So that's probably my two biggest complaints is recaps, and then because of the recaps, you couldn't fit this honestly great start of a character into better growth. I felt the plot was pretty meh. Like I didn't feel like there was anything at stake. They just like went into this encampment and killed a bunch of goblins. Like that, it didn't seem like there was a reason why they were there past there's a village that keeps getting attacked and we're gonna clear out goblins because Goblin Slayer. So enough rambling. I am disappointed because I think there could have been good execution on this movie. So I'm also going to give it a 5 out of 10. There's some good things. I think, like, honestly, like character development wise, I think they did a lot of things good in this movie. They just didn't go far enough.
Absolutely. Well, now it's my turn. 10 out of 10.
Brought to you by...
Sponsored by Lenovo.
What's the game review site that like always
out.
gives like 9s and 10s?
PC Gamer? Is it PC Gamer? Yeah, it's PC Gamer.
It's probably PC Gamer.
Hell yeah. I didn't like much about this movie. The few things that I did like is, it was pretty to look at for an hour and 30 minutes, I guess, if you're not looking at it on your phone or your computer, I guess, because on my TV it was all right. But the other thing that I liked is that the introduction of this new character, the Fencer, she's a good character to show that there's not just one way to react to trauma. And like the way that she had gone through those events and like she got overrun with emotion because of all the revenge that she won and the way she felt and the things that she decided she wanted to do. And it was nice that they like didn't try to put blame on her and be like, wow, we need to kick her. Well, one of them did say we need to kick her out because she's uncontrollable, but they weren't like, fuck you, you're horrible, get out. They were pretty understanding about it, which also led to like a good line from Goblin Slayer where he like finally got to that point where like after watching her struggle with all the trauma, he was like, you know what? I'm going to kill all the goblins, not just the goblins in here, but every single goblin in the universe, and kind of just like rid the world of that possibility of anyone else having to go through that kind of trauma, which was really nice. But then you think about the rest of the movie and you're like, wow, there's nothing to keep you interested. There's no plot. It was just a giant boss raid, a castle raid for about an hour, and there wasn't a lot of storyline. So I kind of just sat there the entire time, just like looking at it, going to Twitter, and like, oh shit, Browns are shitting the bed. Anyway, back to this shitty movie. 2 shits in one night. But yeah, didn't like a lot about this movie. Would I recommend it to another person? If they're interested in Goblin Slayer and want to know what it's about, I would just say watch the movie. Fuck the anime, just watch the movie. You get pretty much everything you need in this 1 hour and 30 minutes. There's too much B-roll in the anime. It doesn't really play plot because they never go into any of their plot devices, so what's the point? Final score, I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 10. I was going to say 5 earlier, but like now that we're talking about it and just remembering, trying to think back, was this movie good? I just keep finding myself saying no.
Yep.
Wasn't good.
Yep.
It was not good. And is there anything after final score? Oh yeah, it says here, subscribe to Crunchyroll using the promo code weebthepeople for $2 off every month. Okay.
It says here, my score is a 10 out of 10. And
Oh shoot, yeah, I read that wrong. I should have did a ×2 on my score.
Oh shit, I meant 4.5 out of 5. Ooh, I'm so sorry, y'all.
Nice. I'm so yikes.
Woofy doofy. Oh.
If you round up, that's 2 thumbs up.
Hey.
What is that? 1000 on my bank account added? Huh.
Oh, nice. Okay. Keep going.
Oh no, it's the IRS. I owe a lot of money, y'all.
Oh yeah.
This might be my last money.
That's my last episode, boys. But yeah, so movie was there. But I will say this. It's not as bad as Knights of Sidonia.
It is not as bad as Knights of Sidonia. We still have not found a program worse than Knights of Sidonia. And I don't think we will for a while.
I saw him look at it. He was like, maybe.
I was like,
For him, it gets close, but Trash of Sidonia is Trash of Sidonia. And with that wraps up this episode. We would like to thank Joachim Karoom for the use of his music in our podcast. The intro is Dreams and the outro is Lowrider. Links to his contact info will be in our show notes. If you enjoy listening to us, please make sure to rate us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or where you listen to podcasts. If you prefer video format, then go check out our YouTube channel, Weeb the People Podcast. Check out our website, weebthepeople.com, and make sure to follow our Twitter handle at Weeb_the_people, Facebook page, Weeb the People, an anime podcast. And finally, our Instagram, Weeb the People Podcast. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, you can feel free to DM us on any of our social medias or email us at weebthepeoplepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am your host, Daniel.
Cyril, it's a great PR move to make sure your employees contact a supervisor when anyone asks about Blackfish, but as a 16-year-old kid trying to work, that's pretty terrifying. My name's Malcolm.
The battle I mentioned earlier was the Battle of Elysia, and Caesar won it. My name's Jacob.
This has been Weeb the People, and have a great evening.
Following the battle, Caesar invented pizza, and thus Little Caesar came out with his $5 hot and ready pizza.